There's a resurfaced clip of A'ja Wilson that came out that's currently going extremely viral now. This lady responded to it, but no matter how you look at this, it's not right in my opinion, and I'm going to explain why. See, this video has resurfaced and is being improperly framed. A'ja comments about it when it was first posted, explains that she's just grateful for Kelsey and Paige being allies to black women. Kelsey understood what A'ja meant. Anyone with sense did, to be honest. She knows both can hoop. All right, so this is the clip that been going viral. I'm gonna play it.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball. Like, she understands her privilege and like, pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
She said she understands how her privilege pushes her over the top. I know she used the word privilege, and I understand what she meant, but even in that context, she's still wrong. I'll explain why. A lot of people will say certain people in the NBA, they got an NBA due to privilege, connections, whatever you want to say. Being privileged or having connections doesn't equate to averaging 25 plus points a game, breaking an assist record, breaking a scoring record. Being privileged does not equate good performance. You still have to go out there and perform and be good. If Caitlin Clark or Kelsey Plum, they sucked at basketball, nobody will support them. They wouldn't have the platform they have. I don't care what anyone says. They would not have the platform they have. That's a fact. The platform they have, they earned it. And you can't even say it's because they white. There's plenty of white WNBA players, so they don't have the platforms they have. You get what I'm saying? So you can't be saying it's privilege. They had to earn the right for people to support them. I know what she's trying to say. Strong allies for black women as they, as they should be. And I understand that. At the same time, I don't understand how they try to make just being good at a sport. It always has to be like a racial conversation. Never gonna hear somebody in NBA be like, oh, Jokic has won MVP like 2-3 times, however many times. I've never once ever since I covered the NBA, watched the NBA, became a fan of the NBA, heard someone be like, oh, Jokic is using his privilege to do this. Jokic is the only reason Jokic gets this is because he's white, or the only reason Luka gets as much attention is because he's white. Everybody who watches the NBA, we just be like, damn, he just nice as hell. You know what I'm saying? It's not no racial conversation. It's not any of that. We're just like, yo, he nice. Like, I gotta tip my hat. He just nice. Matter of fact, if anything, we'll make jokes. We'll say some stuff like, yo, Luka invited to a cookout. We're not making it about race. Y'all jumping on me for saying Paige and Kelsey are great allies for black women is crazy, but it's okay. I appreciate and respect them both. I understand where she was coming from. It still wasn't right what she said. She will be who she is, rather she was black or white. As far as like branding and stuff, I've been trying to say this since I started covering 4 or 5 months ago. Bro, you can't force people to support you. I made a video about this. I said I felt like A'ja Wilson doesn't have a genuine fan base, which I was right. Remember, I made the vid. I said that if Kate Martin and A'ja Wilson, and they dropped a shoe on the same day, Kate Martin would probably outsell her. But A'ja Wilson, she's such a talented player. They're so jealous of these other players in the W. They be feeling like, oh, they have privilege. If that was the case, every single white girl that goes in the WNBA, she should be selling out crowds like Caitlin Clark. There was white girls before Caitlin Clark. This was Kelsey Plum speaks about her white privilege. She said, I don't think it helped that I'm a 5'8" white girl coming into the league with 85% black women that want to take your head off, like straight up, right? That's just what it is. My dog did this interview. Shout out Aunt Goods. I'm gonna play the clip.
But you say if you would have been the number 2 pick or 3 pick as opposed to 1, how do you think that would have affected you staying in the league through struggles, or not at all?
I mean, I would have been still in the league because I'm a dog. Like, I would have found a way. I would have found a way.
No question.
I definitely think the expectations of being a number 1 pick are brutal, especially if you have any type of height or like media coming out of college. They're just brutal. And then I don't think it helps being a 5'8" white girl coming into the league with 85% black women that want to take your head off. Like, just straight up, right? Like, that's just what it is. And I didn't know. Me, happy-go-lucky, walking into the locker room like, hey, like, I didn't know. I learned the hard way. But that's real. That's what it is. And I think that it would have been better in some ways because I would have been a little bit more under the radar. But in other ways, I definitely think that, having that type of struggle and adversity has prepared me for the moment I'm in now.
And then the thing about that comment that was so wrong, got Kelsey Plum scored 3,527 points in her college career at Washington, a record that has stood since 2017. That's before, of course, Caitlin Clark broke her record. I understand what she's trying to say. I don't even understand how it's a race conversation to begin with. It shouldn't even be that. It should just be basketball. If people don't support them more than a certain player, they try to make it into some race think piece. Like, I don't be understanding that, bro. Like, why can't y'all just keep it basketball? Like, the product will sell just as good if you kept it hoops. But every time you go on Twitter, they're never having real basketball conversations. They just want to have something around race. And you got comments like this, right? Paige Bueckers did with her SB speech at 19 years old was the set of the tone of what was acceptable and not acceptable in her fan base. Let everyone know what she stood for and what she didn't stand for, and CC simply never did that. If you guys can tell by any interview, Caitlin Clark doesn't want to involve herself in the race stuff. She just be trying to keep it hoops. This is her comment right here. She said, nobody deserves to face racism, hurtful comments, and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls. To uplift this lead in a positive light, the best thing we can do.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. But there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing that we can do, because there are so many great players, there's so many great teams, there are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated. And for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do.
There was a clip that came out and it said that she was trying to advocate for the players to get bonuses. Mind you, a lot of these players behind the scenes or in the media, they're saying she has privilege, she's doing this. She's trying to help y'all get paid even more money. Like, look at the clip. When asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players. I'm gonna play the full clip. This is it.
And since it's off the record, here's all you need to know about Caitlin Clark. When we would go to away games, they always sold out. Unbelievable. So Atlanta would normally have 3,000, 4,000 people. Now they have 17,000 people, and they sold 1,000 standing room only tickets. So when we walked into the arena, people were on that third balcony looking down at the tops of our players' heads to watch. I mean, it's really hard to take in. After a few away games and all of the sellouts, Caitlin asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players. She said, wow, we're making all this new revenue, and I would like the away team to benefit from that. Could they get a spot bonus? So that's the heart of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
So, but it's absolutely.
The answer was no, by the way, because it's a collective bargaining agreement, and the Players Association couldn't do it.
But it is a little bit like the Michael Jordan effect, right? So, in other words, this has changed, to some degree, changing the economics of the sport in a really remarkable way.
The people at Nike told me that the thing that Caitlin has done is also similar to what Tiger did, in that they brought new fans to the sport.
Right.
So Michael Jordan energized and became a role model for all the kids. Caitlin's got that. She's brought new fans to it. But she's even more than that, in that she's 22. So she came right out of college and hit, very successful. Our start to our season was tough. I got emails all the time from people. You should fire your coach. You should fire your GM. You should, because we were on the road playing the best teams. It was really hard. And then one day I got an email from a fan that said, you should be fired.
Who's going to do that?
No, I printed it. I'm like, oh my God, they think I'm relevant. Like, this is awesome.
Y'all see what this girl tried to do behind the scenes. That never came out in the media, ever. That never came out in the media. She's telling the WNBA, oh, pay the away players spot bonuses. The girls who are bashing her, she's advocating for you guys to get spot bonuses. I hope in the future, WNBA just keeps it sports instead of trying to making it a white or black thing. That doesn't push the game forward. To go on Twitter every day, see all these stink pieces, you guys should just keep it basketball so people can just enjoy basketball. New fan like myself or old fan like somebody else, we just want to watch good hoops, bro. It doesn't matter if it's a boy, girl. I just want to see good hoops. Like, that's all. If the girl's white and she's better than you, she's just better than you, bro. Like, I'm sorry, she's just better. Do better. If fans don't want to support you, cool. That shouldn't bother you. Just go on the court and do your job. Y'all heard what Caitlin Clark said to the people who go out their way to bash black women or any type of woman athlete in general. You're lame as fuck. You shouldn't even be paying attention to that stuff. Just stay off social media. If you guys want to reach the mainstream level of the NBA, that's something that comes with it. That's something you have to deal with. You have to figure out a way to deal with that. Otherwise, then you don't deserve to make the money you make, because that's part of the money you make. You shouldn't be worried about people who just talking nonsense. That's whatever. But those are my thoughts on that. I had to make this video. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. And as always, it's your boy.